Shocking the world time and time again, her terrifying prophecies have turned into chilling realities. Centuries may have passed, but the mystery surrounding the blind mystic known as Baba Vanga continues to grow stronger with each passing year. Her visions have accurately predicted world-shaping events from natural disasters to political upheavals, and now all eyes are on what she saw coming in 2025. From cosmic catastrophes to global power shifts, what Baba Vanga foresaw for 2025 isn't just disturbing, it's enough to send shivers down your spine. Could this be the year when her most haunting predictions finally unfold? The solar chaos. Among Baba Vanga's most spine-chilling predictions for 2025 is one that sounds like something straight out of a science fiction nightmare: a massive solar storm paired with an unexpected shift in Earth's orbit. Separately, each of these events would be catastrophic, but together, they could redefine life on Earth as we know it. Let's start with the solar storm. According to the blind mystic's foresight, a powerful burst of energy from the sun could strike our planet this year, far stronger than anything we've experienced before. While solar storms do occur naturally, most of them are harmless. But this one? It's predicted to be on a whole new level, strong enough to shut down satellites, cripple global communications, and plunge cities into darkness by frying power grids. Imagine waking up and nothing works. No internet, no electricity, no phone signal. Banks frozen, hospitals paralyzed, airplanes grounded. In just hours, the modern world could be thrown into total chaos. And if that wasn't enough, Baba Vanga's vision warns of a disruption in Earth's orbit, something scientists have always deemed stable and untouchable. But what if that changed? If the Earth moves even slightly closer to the sun, temperatures could skyrocket, intensifying the global climate crisis and sparking wildfires, droughts, and crop failures on an unimaginable scale. On the flip side, drifting further away could usher in a new ice age, freezing ecosystems and collapsing food chains. Such a shift wouldn't just impact the weather, it would break the rhythm of life. Day lengths would change, seasons would shift unpredictably, and tides could flood coastlines without warning. The balance that sustains life on Earth could be permanently disrupted. Together, the solar storm and orbital change paint a terrifying picture: a planet scorched from above, while spinning off course into a future we're not prepared for. Could this really happen in 2025? Many scientists are watching the sun closely, noting unusual activity in its solar cycle. And while an orbital shift sounds far-fetched, even minor tilts in Earth's axis have triggered major climate changes in the past. So, is it all just coincidence? Or are we inching closer to the moment Baba Vanga foresaw? One thing is certain: if she was right, we may be powerless to stop what's coming next. The cyber attacks. In 2025, one of Baba Vanga's most chilling predictions may come true, and it's not about war or nature, but something even more terrifying: the invisible war online. She warned of a massive surge in cyber attacks that would target not just governments or big companies, but everyday people like you and me. We're not just talking about stolen passwords. She foresaw something far more dangerous: an era where our digital lives are fully exposed and no one is safe. Imagine waking up one day and discovering your bank account has been emptied, your private messages, photos, and every detail of your life leaked. Your smart home no longer obeys you, but someone else. Scary? That's just the beginning. According to Baba Vanga, hackers in 2025 will be more powerful than ever, using artificial intelligence to trick people with frightening precision. These AI-powered scams won't feel like scams. They'll feel real, personal, and almost impossible to detect. But it doesn't stop there. She also warned of a world where governments and corporations use technology to watch our every move. Cameras on every corner, phones that listen, apps that track your thoughts and habits, all under the name of safety. It's called unethical surveillance, and it's already happening in small ways. But 2025 could be the year it becomes the norm. Vanga's prophecy suggests that privacy as we know it may disappear completely. In her vision, the combination of cyber warfare and digital surveillance creates a society where fear and control replace freedom. The global economic crisis. Among Baba Vanga's most unsettling predictions for 2025 is the vision of a global economic crisis, not just a mild recession, but a collapse so deep it could rewrite the rules of the world we live in. She foresaw a time when financial institutions would fall like dominoes, markets would plunge into chaos, and entire nations would struggle to keep their economies alive. And shockingly, some signs of her prophecy seem to be appearing already. From rising inflation and skyrocketing debt to unstable political climates and growing unemployment, the global economy is on shaky ground. But Baba Vanga's warning goes deeper. According to her, this crisis won't just affect the rich or big corporations, it will hit ordinary people the hardest. Imagine waking up to find your savings worthless, your job gone, your basic necessities suddenly unaffordable. She envisioned long lines at banks, empty shelves in stores, and governments scrambling to restore order. What makes her prediction even more alarming is its timing. She specifically pointed to the year 2025 as the breaking point, the moment when everything we take for granted could begin to unravel. But where will it start? A stock market crash? A war that disrupts global trade? A collapse in digital currency? No one knows for sure, but many economists agree the system is fragile and it wouldn't take much to tip it over. The mysterious tsunami. In her haunting visions of the future, Baba Vanga spoke of a mysterious tsunami that would strike Asia, a disaster not caused by ordinary storms, but something far more unpredictable and terrifying. Unlike typical tsunamis triggered by underwater earthquakes or volcanic eruptions, this one, according to her, would arrive without clear warning, taking even scientists and governments by surprise. The wave, she said, would come from the depths, but not from the earth. What could this mean? Some believe she was referring to a cosmic or supernatural force, perhaps a meteor impact in the ocean, or even a man-made event that unleashes nature's fury in an unexpected way. Others speculate it could be linked to the changing orbit of the Earth, a disruption that alters oceanic patterns and triggers abnormal tidal surges. While skeptics may brush it off as fantasy, the possibility of an unknown trigger causing a devastating tsunami is not impossible. In fact, scientists have long warned that underwater landslides or melting polar caps could generate enormous, unanticipated waves across the Pacific or Indian Oceans. And Baba Vanga didn't stop at the wave itself. She hinted that this disaster would redraw the map, submerging coastal cities, displacing millions, and sparking humanitarian crises on a massive scale. Countries like Indonesia, the Philippines, India, and even parts of China and Japan could be in the danger zone. But the true horror lies not just in the wave, but in its mystery. We may not know it's coming until it's already too late. If this prophecy comes to pass, it won't just be a natural disaster, it will be a wake-up call. A moment that reminds humanity how fragile and unpredictable our world truly is. The world conflict. Apparently, many of her predictions have come true long after her death. For instance, Baba Vanga is said to have foretold the death of Princess Diana, the sinking of the Russian submarine Kursk. She even allegedly foresaw her own death on 11th August 1996 at the age of 85. Even though the mystic is no more, she made predictions for every year up until 5079. For this 2025, her prophecy states, when Syria falls, a great war between the West and the East will follow. In the spring, a conflict will ignite in the East, leading to a third world war, a war that will destroy the West. As events in Syria spiral, fears of this vision coming true are mounting. Recent developments in Aleppo, where insurgents have captured key installations, have drawn renewed attention to a dire prophecy made by Baba Vanga. Rebels from the Islamist Hayat Tahrir al-Sham group have declared the end of the era as they push deeper into Damascus, capturing Sednaya prison, a notorious symbol of Assad's regime. Aleppo has already fallen, and while the Syrian Defense Ministry denies claims of Hom's capture, the rebels' momentum remains unchecked. Key ally Hezbollah has withdrawn its forces, and thousands of Syrian soldiers have reportedly fled to Iraq. Panic grips Damascus, with residents scrambling for supplies and money, fearing what comes next. In a symbolic act, protesters in the city's suburbs have toppled statues of Assad's father, Hafez al-Assad. Before her death in 1996, Baba Vanga predicted that Syria's fall would act as a precursor to a global conflict. She warned, as soon as Syria falls, expect a great war between the West and the East. In the spring, a war in the East will begin, and there will be a third world war, a war in the East that will destroy the West. This cryptic message has left many speculating about the future of the Middle East and the broader consequences for global stability. The rapid escalation in Syria is now seen as a potential trigger for the catastrophic conflict she foresaw. As Assad's regime collapses, Syria's unrest could spill over into neighboring regions, risking wider conflict. Baba Vanga's prophecy, once dismissed as folklore, feels alarmingly relevant as the global community braces for what might follow. The fall of Aleppo to insurgents has wider implications, not just for Syria, but also for global peace. With its international airport now under militant control, Syria's situation could potentially exacerbate tensions among major powers, particularly as Russian-made weapons feature prominently in the insurgents' cache. This development has drawn international scrutiny, with concerns that the conflict may escalate beyond the region. Adding weight to the prophecy, Baba Vanga ominously stated, "Syria will fall at the feet of the winner, but the winner will not be the one." This cryptic remark has left many wondering about the true implications of her foresight. As the situation in Syria unfolds, the eerie relevance of Baba Vanga's predictions serves as a reminder of the delicate state of international relations. While skeptics may dismiss her words as coincidence, the alignment of her prophecy with recent events underscores the uncertainty. That's why Baba Vanga also supposedly predicted the outbreak of a conflict that would affect much of Europe in 2025. Like Nostradamus, her visions seem to point to a war that could escalate to involve global powers. It is said that she warned about the destruction of the world as we know it, a phrase some interpret as referring to a conflict that could shift the balance of power and cause great loss. According to this interpretation, the conflict could drastically reduce the population in Europe and create a worldwide humanitarian crisis. Current tensions in Europe and Asia have led many to view this prediction as a serious warning, though the true scope of her words remains a topic of debate. The Chosen One. One of Baba Vanga's most intriguing predictions for 2025 is the birth of a child who will play a crucial role in achieving world peace. According to her prophecy, this child will bring a new order and become a spiritual leader who will unite humanity. It is said that the child will be born on January 5th, 2025, and will grow up with exceptional abilities that will enable them to guide the world in times of crisis. Seen as a symbol of hope amid darker prophecies, this child is regarded by some of Baba Vanga's followers as a sign of renewal and unity. Although this prediction is one of the least verifiable, it has captured the imagination of many and remains a topic of speculation. Baba Vanga also mentioned the name of the powerful man, Putin. This is one of her most famous predictions. According to her, Putin will become the lord of the world, while Europe will become a wasteland. All will thaw as if ice, only one remains untouched: Vladimir's glory, the glory of Russia. Nobody can stop Russia. After the Russia and Ukraine conflict, these alleged prophecies attributed to Bulgarian blind seer Baba Vanga went viral on social media and were mentioned by mainline international media as well. Reportedly, they came from Russian poet and academic Valentin Mitrofanovich Sidorov, who interviewed Baba Vanga and devoted a book to her, whose most popular edition, heavily edited after his death, was published in 2009. Many people are quite skeptical of this prophecy, and up until now, nothing is certain about the final outcome of the conflict between the two nations. Who will be the last warrior standing? Speaking of Putin, this blind prophet once again mentioned this leader and the connection to her prophecy. The mystic predicted that new cures for diseases like Alzheimer's and cancer will be invented very soon. It sounds unbelievable, but nothing is impossible with the rapid development of world medicine. President Vladimir Putin recently said that Russian scientists are close to creating a vaccine for cancer that could soon be available to patients. He said, "We have reached a significant milestone in the development of cancer vaccines and next-generation immunomodulatory drugs. I hope that soon they will be effectively used as methods of individual therapy," he added, speaking at a Moscow forum on future technologies. However, he did not specify the types of cancer the proposed vaccines would target. Furthermore, recent developments have confirmed progress in the development of a lung cancer vaccine. The United Kingdom has allocated funding for 2 years of laboratory research and initial manufacturing of 3,000 doses for a DNA-based lung cancer vaccine, as stated in a press release from the University of Oxford, located in Oxford, England. But it cannot be denied that the world will have a positive outlook for cancer patients, and we can fully expect that a miracle will happen in 2025. Antichrist appearance. The blind prophet continued to warn the world about the important character might change the whole world. That is Antichrist. When you watch a TV show or music competition, it's amazing to see how people can rise up from poverty and then be launched into worldwide popularity in a matter of months. So it will be with the Antichrist. He will have an inconspicuous beginning and win the hearts of humanity. He will be highly intelligent. He will be stronger than most. He will be a gifted communicator. He will be politically savvy. While he will be charming, his corrupt character will be revealed after 3.5 years into the tribulation. The world will see how this man is now hell-bent on destroying the Christian faith and persecuting the Jews. He is described as a blasphemer, a hater of God's law. He will be consumed by his selfish ambitions. He will try to change biblical prophecies by twisting the scriptures. He will ultimately pretend to be God and demand to be worshipped. He will come claiming he is the one, the long-awaited one. He will be the Messiah of the new age, who will be secretly led by Satan, who will see within him his former glory and will view him as the rightful vessel to re-achieve his ancient status and then some. He will usher in a new golden age of false peace and prosperity and will soon thereafter be proclaimed as the God of this new age. He will craftily make war with the saints and subdue them for a time, while keeping up this false personage. He also might be political antichrists. Just as there are religious antichrists, there also are political antichrists. Communism is a good example. Communism is an antichrist in that it seeks to replace Christ and his kingdom as Earth's rightful ruler and mankind's only hope. Thus, we are told that it is the messianic character of communism that gives it dynamic power to command allegiance. Its leaders, such as Lenin and Stalin, have been not only idolized, but deified, termed saviors, and the ones chosen by God to lead their people. What is true of communism's being the Antichrist is also true of the United Nations. It is being given a messianic role to play by the clergy of Christendom as the world's savior, its only hope and the only light, whereas the Bible plainly shows that Jesus Christ and God's kingdom is our only hope. Apocalypse. Apparently, the latest predictions have raised concern among her followers and the public, as they predict that the apocalypse will begin in 2025. The apocalypse is anticipated to begin in 2025, despite the fact that humanity will not be completely eradicated until 5079, as stated in the timeline of her predictions. Besides, Baba Vanga went on to state that a conflict in Europe would devastate the continent's population by 2025. The prophecy is worrying the people, particularly in light of the ongoing conflicts and tensions in geopolitics. Following Vanga, this is the timeline to the end of humanity. In 2025, the inciting incident that kicks off the ultimate end of humanity will be an unspecified conflict in Europe, which will devastate the continent's population. Then, when we come to 2028, humanity needs more energy. To do this, they will manage to explore Venus to find new energy sources. This may be one of the most unbelievable parts of this timeline, since Venus is essentially an inhospitable hellscape with an atmosphere so acidic that nothing could survive. And no space probe has ever managed to survive more than a couple of hours. In 2033, climate change is very dangerous, and that shouldn't be understated. However, Baba Vanga supposedly predicted that at this point, the polar ice caps would melt and sea levels would rise drastically worldwide. Ever see the old episode of The Simpsons where Russia flips a switch and the Soviet Union suddenly out of nowhere reforms? The Berlin Wall shoots back up out of the ground, and a zombie Vladimir Lenin smashes out of his crypt, groaning about crushing capitalism? Well, it may not be like this exactly, but Baba Vanga's alleged prediction claims that at this point in 2076, communism will not just be back, but will take over the entire world. In 2130, skipping ahead to the next century, humanity will, at this point, supposedly make contact with aliens. What could go wrong? Climate change in 2170 is going to get worse, and at this point, a drought is supposedly going to spread across the world. In 3005, perhaps it's due to human colonization, or perhaps it's aliens. Regardless, at this point, there will supposedly already have been some kind of civilization on Mars, and they will fight a war with Earth. In 3797 at this point, due to any number of reasons, the Earth will supposedly no longer be able to support life. Humans will allegedly leave their homeworld at this point and move on to parts unknown. This is it. The end gonna happen in 5079, the grand finale. And of course, with as vague of a prediction as this is, if this was even a real prediction at all, we know nothing about it. All we know is that the world will end. Yes, the world will supposedly already be uninhabitable by this point, so what this refers to is honestly anyone's guess. Does it go out with a bang or with a whimper? Is there a great epic battle or a rather anticlimactic incident? Keep in mind that this is all patently ridiculous. Yes, Baba Vanga was a real person, and yes, she has amassed quite a following and legend around her. However, since no one wrote down her predictions, no one knows if any prediction attributed to her these days is genuine. And even if it was, no one knows if the prediction would be true. But we need to take a note at this. Although there are many prophets who make predictions about the end of the world, in reality, God has said that no one knows the day or hour of his coming, but God. This prediction of the blind prophet reminds us a verse of Bible. When you hear of wars and rumors of wars, do not be alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be earthquakes in various places, and famines. These are the beginning of birth pains. Doubtless, somewhere people will, again, start to use such disasters as signs that we are living in the last days. Or, to put it more accurately, since the New Testament consistently insists the last days began with Christ's first coming, they will insist that we are living in the last days of the last days. Wars and rumors of wars should not alarm God's people. The end is still to come. Earthquakes and famines are merely the beginning of birth pangs. In other words, just as labor pains remind a pregnant mother that there is a baby inside her that the body wants to bring into the world, so do these various earthly disasters remind believers that Christ will return, ending human history as we now know it. But my, how unreliable those labor pains can be, sometimes coming months ahead of the actual due date, sometimes weeks in advance. They remind us that we are getting closer to the climactic day, but we knew that already just because of the passing of time. Vanga also said that, In 2025, Earth could encounter a different path around the sun. This is a highly interesting prediction and one that could have far-reaching effects on our lives. Mark 13:32-33 says, "But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard, be alert. You do not know when that time will come." When the Lord tells us, "No one knows the day or the hour," he is referring to the truth that nobody knows when his second coming will be. Many individuals throughout time have tried to predict the second coming of Christ, yet there is no way a person can predict the Lord's second coming. The second coming of Christ is often confused with the rapture of the church. Many scholars blend these two events of eschatology to be the same event. However, the second coming of Christ and the rapture are two distinct events. The rapture will occur before the second coming of Christ, because the second coming will not occur until the end of the 7-year tribulation. None of us can predict the time when all of these future events will take place. The rapture is the catalyst for the rest of the events of eschatology, as believers will be taken up to be with the Lord prior to the 7-year tribulation. After the 7-year tribulation will be the second coming of Christ. During this time, Christ will return to fight in the Battle of Armageddon. You can read Revelation chapter 19 verses 11-16 for more. In the Battle of Armageddon, the Lord will defeat the Antichrist and the false prophet. Jesus will rule victorious over evil and destroy all those who went against him. The second coming will be drastically different from his first coming. The Lord has already given us the opportunity to place faith in him through the knowledge of the gospel. Yet at his second coming, he will bring the full promises of our salvation to fruition. After the end of the 7-year tribulation, Jesus will reign as king for 1,000 years, and then he will establish the new heaven and new earth. When God establishes the new heaven and new earth, the world will be exactly as God first intended it to be in the Garden of Eden. No longer will there be any death, pain, or sadness. Instead, there will only be happiness, joy, and life. The second coming of Christ is something we should all look forward to, as it will be a major event in eschatology. If you are presently already a believer, you can be confident in the knowledge that you will return with Christ at his second coming and help fight in the Battle of Armageddon. All believers who have died or been taken up in the rapture prior to the 7-year tribulation will return to Christ to fight in the Battle of Armageddon. While this may be frightening, we can trust in the Lord and in his future plans. Every year, Earth passes the sun around 584 million miles. This journey is an epic elliptical one, as it is shaped like an oval instead of a circle. The exact shape of the oval is determined by the forces of other planets. Although Earth's orbit can change due to these forces, these changes only happen in a cyclical manner. Even subtle changes can have severe implications on the Earth. It could cause extreme radiation levels and soaring temperatures to affect our planet. It's also possible that the orbital shift suggested by Baba Vanga could be caused by an impact from an asteroid. Is this a sign to the end? Let's wait and see. Baba Vanga, whose full name was Vangelia Pandeva Gushtarova, was born in 1911. She lost her sight at age 12 after being caught in a violent storm, an event she claimed led to her acquiring predictive powers. These abilities brought her fame as her forecasts resonated globally. She even accurately predicted her own death, reportedly stating in a 1990 interview that she would die on August 11, 1996, a prediction that came true. Despite her death, the legacy of her prophecies endures, with new interpretations frequently surfacing. Let's get back to her most stunning prediction. She wrote, "When the twin giants fall in the New World, it marks the beginning. 2 decades and 2 years after, the great waters will rise and the sky will burn." And decades later, we witnessed unprecedented natural phenomena that scientists still struggle to explain. Conflict in Europe. In 2025, Baba Vanga predicted that a big war would break out in Europe, with disastrous results for the continent and its people. The continuing hostilities in the region make this prognosis especially frightening. Her caution serves as a reminder of how crucial international collaboration and diplomacy are to avert such tragedies. Touch to the sky. According to Baba Vanga, humans will reach Venus in search of new energy sources, and the problem of food shortages will be resolved very soon. There will also be a human space mission to Mercury. With more than half of the Earth suffering due to climate change and terrorism, humans have already begun searching for habitats on other planets. It's possible that Baba Vanga's prophecy could come true. Personally, seeing the state of Earth makes me want to move to another planet. Anyway, let's move on to the next prediction. Baba Vanga's prediction about a star exploding could be seen as similar to the supernova SN 1006, which occurred in the year 1006 and was visible for several years. The explosion of a star would likely be a significant event and could potentially have some impact on our planet, such as affecting our climate or causing disruptions in our technology. A star exploding could potentially have significant effects on our planet. For example, it could release large amounts of radiation, which could affect our climate and even our health. Additionally, it could disrupt our technology, including satellites and power grids. The bright light from the exploding star could also potentially affect our sleep patterns and have other effects on our daily lives. There are several stars in the universe that are currently known to be at the end of their lives and could potentially explode in the near future. While predicting the exact timing of such events is difficult, astronomers have identified several stars that are at high risk of exploding, which could provide some support for Baba Vanga's prediction. With that, she also warned us the visit of strangers. While the idea of an alien attack might seem like something out of science fiction, it is not without precedent. In the past, various cultures have reported encounters with extraterrestrial beings, and some have even claimed to have been abducted by aliens. However, it is important to note that there is currently no scientific evidence to support the existence of aliens or the possibility of an alien attack. While the likelihood of an alien attack is unknown, the idea of contact with extraterrestrial life raises a number of questions about our place in the universe and the possibility of other intelligent life. It could also have significant effects on our society and culture, potentially leading to new scientific discoveries and even religious or philosophical changes. While there is currently no scientific evidence to support the existence of extraterrestrial life, the search for such life is an active area of research. Scientists have discovered thousands of exoplanets or planets that orbit stars other than our Sun, and some of these planets are located in the habitable zone, which could potentially support life. Additionally, several organizations, such as the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, are actively searching for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence. Alien contact. While the idea of an alien attack might seem like something out of science fiction, it is not without precedent. In the past, various cultures have reported encounters with extraterrestrial beings, and some have even claimed to have been abducted by aliens. However, it is important to note that there is currently no scientific evidence to support the existence of aliens or the possibility of an alien attack. While the likelihood of an alien attack is unknown, the idea of contact with extraterrestrial life raises a number of questions about our place in the universe and the possibility of other intelligent life. It could also have significant effects on our society and culture, potentially leading to new scientific discoveries and even religious or philosophical changes. While there is currently no scientific evidence to support the existence of extraterrestrial life, the search for such life is an active area of research. Scientists have discovered thousands of exoplanets, or planets that orbit stars other than our Sun, and some of these planets are located in the habitable zone, which could potentially support life. Additionally, several organizations, such as the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, are actively searching for signs of extraterrestrial intelligence.